welcome to the September 2024 SuperSize sales video. The sales you will be seeing happened over the last couple of months and were posted in my Facebook group, where we have a dedicated thread every month just for these $100 or more sales. So make sure you are posting those sales here for possible inclusion in these videos, but also so you can show off your sales and everyone can learn from each other. Okay, let's take a look at some exciting $100 or more sales. Okay, let's start with Kari Kochar. I paid $2 and it sold in less than 24 hours for full asking price of $100. I received a message from a pastor in his 70s asking if I would sell it to him for 50, but this sold before I could reply. It is a New American Standard Reference Bible from 1973. $2 and it sold for $100. Bethany Henderson paid $5, listed last night, took the quick offer of $100. Vintage Betsy Johnson Golden Roses Maxi Milkmaid dress. And she's got the keywords 90s and Y2K in her title. That is a hot aesthetic now. $5 sold for $100 overnight. Lori Jones, first time contributing. Well, welcome to the thread, Lori. I found these brushes at an estate sale for $1, sold for $100. I knew nothing about them, and I still don't. I wasn't sure how to price them, as I just wanted to sell as a big lot and other lots were smaller. Sold in one day, so maybe could have made more, but very happy with the profit I made. I love finding treasures hiding in plain sight. So the item is Vintage Artist Lettering Quill Paintbrushes Lot. And she said these were $1 and they sold for $100 even. Okay, Eileen Cole. I grabbed this sewing thread on the 5th day of an estate sale. It had been divided into 2 boxes and priced at $40 for each box, but by day 5 they were ready to deal. I bought as part of a large bundle and estimate I have $10 into it. Listed for $139 and accepted a best offer of $100 plus shipping, sold in 24 hours. This is a huge lot of 300 spools of sewing thread, 8+ pounds. So she said she paid $10 and it sold for $100. Lisa Johnson Middleton found a new sourcing spot. Online auction of Amazon returns in my region has me hooked. Won this new time grapher, didn't even know what it was for a $10 bid. Listed and sold after several lowball offers for best offer of $100. It sold in less than a week. So the item is Weishi Watch Timing Machine Tester Tool, Time Grapher. So I guess maybe this is the I don't know what that thing is edition, but who cares if it sells for $100? Leslie Kidd. This was a fun one. I saw this at Salvation Army, thought it was cool, and it was new without tags. I did my research and found it was a sought after brand of vintage. Just before I was going to list, I thought, hey, I wonder if this glows in the dark. Yep, you can see it glowing in one of the listing pictures. I tried to first auction at $100, but no takers. Then I relisted at $125 and ended up taking best offer of 100. I paid $3.50 and it sold in a few days minus the auction time. So this is a true vintage liquid blue 2001 skull t-shirt. So the brand is called Liquid Blue and it glows in the dark. Yes, that is fun. Leslie Wilson from my personal collection, so paid nothing. I sold this Dreamcast Dino Crisis game for $103 during a weekend sale for my store. Check your old video games. So you can see there it's Dino Crisis Sega Dreamcast 2000 and it sold for $103.20. Patty Larvieri went to an estate sale and at the end of the sale found a few sets of vintage Ralph Lauren and Laura Ashley sheets and grabbed them. Asked how much and was told $7. When I got home, I discovered I had 3 sets of sheets. These sold within a few days, waiting for the others to sell. The item is Ralph Lauren Allison Country Floral Queen Sheet Set. Sold for $112.99. Laurie Toman. I decided it was time to get rid of my old Barbie clothes that had been in a Barbie case for 45 plus years. Sold several of them in less than 24 hours in the $40 to $60 range. Sold this one for full asking price of $115 in a week. And when I first saw this picture, I thought that was like a regular sized woman's clothing. I was like, what is that? So this is vintage Mod Barbie Wild Things green jumpsuit and vest. Sold for $115. So everybody, if you haven't yet, get those old Barbie clothes listed because this is crazy right here. Olivia Poole. I purchased 9 of these landscaping lights at a thrift store for $2 each. I split in 2 lots of 4 and listed at $149 per lot. Sold the first in a day. The next sold about 2 weeks later for best offer of $119. So this is Intermatic Malibu metal lighting. So they're outdoor, looks like solar lights. And these sold for $149, and she's got others waiting to sell. So yeah, kind of mundane looking, but high value. Tammy Mitchell purchased this set at a thrift store for $3.24. Sold in 9 months for $120 plus shipping. Vintage cookware, Franciscan Desert Rose pattern, casserole pots and pans. It's a 7-piece set. Sold for $120 and she paid $3.24. Sarah Lynn Ertz-Serta. Found at Goodwill outlet, so paid maybe $10. It's heavy. Sold for $120. I almost always have a 20% off coupon running in my store, so buyer used that. So it's Le Creuset. I think I'm saying that wrong. It's supposed to be Le Creuset. I do that every time. I need to remember. So those of you out there telling me, I know, I just old habits die hard. Okay, so it's a roaster pan, yellow enameled cast iron. $10 and sold for $120. Natalie Musterpaw Robinson. I took my husband to the bins, and in the rush of looking in a new clothing bin, my husband asked me what to look for. I said, just look for quality and vintage. 2 seconds later, he says, this feels heavy and quality. I gasp. He found in 2 seconds what I have been searching 7 years to find. My first St. John dress. sold the same day. So, yeah, Natalie, your husband's a good luck charm. This is a St. John size 14 black dress, Santana knit. That is the highly sought after vintage. Sold for $120. And just for the listeners, because I know we get a lot of new people, St. John is the high end, very classy brand. Think what Kate Middleton or Jackie O would wear, that came out in the 60s and is still popular today. Very high end clothing. It is not St. John's Bay, which is a J.C. Penney brand. So if you're confused there, look up the logos for both. St. John and St. John's Bay are two very different things. And you're not going to find near as much St. John as you will find St. John's Bay. So just know the difference. Diana Warren paid about $15 for these at an estate sale, listed and sold within 8 hours for best offer of $120 plus shipping. And this is a highly sought after brand, Cutco. This is a lot of 5 steak knives, 15 bucks, and took a best offer of 120. Okay, Julie Brown says creepy sells. I saw this bag at a church rummage sale. It looked to have several plush in it. What caught my eye was a face that looked like the shrunken apple face dolls from my childhood. And then I saw a vintage tag that said Gnarlies. For $1, it was worth the chance because creepy sells. There were 5, and I made 3 lots from them at $49.99 each. The next day, I received an offer for $120 plus shipping and handling for all 3 lots. Sold. I like to sell creepy, just not keen on having it sit around in my inventory. So this is 5 vintage Gnarlies artist dolls. Yes, creepy sells if you can stand to have it in your house. Kim Smith paid $15 at Goodwill, sold in a few months for $124.91. The brand is Zamberlan Civetta, or maybe it's Civetta, made in Italy, hiking boots. I've never heard of this brand, so now we all have. $15 and sold for $124. Next up is Becky Sanders. My husband gets the credit for finding this as we were hunting at an estate sale. Bought for $5 and took an offer for $125 in about 3 months. We had never seen one and looked it up on the spot. Singer ball bearing pinking attachment. So it's for a sewing machine. And this sold for $125. Okay, next is Leisha Rouston. This World War II cot was purchased from a church sale in June thanks to my husband. We went to this sale and picked up a lot of items for a really good price. Then on the way out, my husband noticed the cot and encouraged me to get it. It was really heavy, and when it sold, it wasn't too bad to ship. I opened up a large box and rolled the cot into it like a sausage, then added some additional end caps to the package because the box was too short. Also added a lot of tape. Mailed it UPS, which was much cheaper than USPS, and refunded $37 to the buyer. It's on its way to Michigan, sold for full price of $139.99. So it is a World War II U.S. Army canvas folding cot. And did she say how much she paid for it? No, she didn't. That's okay. But gold star for the husband. Okay, Jody Clark, from wife getting rid of some of her tarot decks. This Rider tarot deck is from the early to mid 70s. It was complete and had the instruction booklet. Accepted on offer of $140 plus $6.75 shipping after 2 weeks of being listed. So you can see there, vintage early 1970s Rider weight Tarot Complete Deck, no copyright. And yes, these cards can be worth a lot of money. So if you ever see any, look them up. Carolyn Beryl Powers. I'm trying to work through my death piles. I bought these a few months ago in a bag of vintage ornaments for $5 at a yard sale. I didn't realize they were Holt Howard, so very happy when I looked them up. Listed tonight for $149.99, sold in half an hour. Vintage Holt Howard pair of Santas riding on candy cane ornaments. 150 bucks. So this is the magic of working through your death pile. And if you need help with that, I have some virtual assistants that can get those items listed for you. All you do is send in your pictures and we do the rest. So the information about that is below the video. And this is the perfect time of year to do it because we've got fourth quarter coming and you want to have as much listed as possible so you can have as many sales as possible. Things that aren't listed can't sell. Okay, Shelley Carpenter Wood has something that is not yarn. Everybody seems to be known for the thing they sell. She says, gorgeous brass peacock fireplace screen. Sent an offer of $150. They paid more for shipping in addition to the $150. Obviously going overseas. Free to me from my personal peacock collection. Changed up my decor theme so it gets a new home. Vintage brass plated fireplace screen. Folding peacock fan, MCM retro. Sold for $150. And it does fold up, so probably not too horrible to ship. But yeah, who knows? If you have MCM stuff, mid-century modern, in your home, you might want to reevaluate if you want to keep it or sell it. Zachary McDore, our garbage man philosopher. And I just love seeing what he finds on his garbage route and what he gets for free, like this. A set of Fiesta-ware bowls I was given for free in a load of antiques. I had to answer a lot of questions and provide a lot more photos for people. These collectors are picky. Fiesta-ware green mixing nesting bowl ceramic pottery. And these sold for $152.50 and they were free. Joyce Newman Bodenhammer bought this at the bins, paid $5, sold in a few days for full price. Beautiful condition, not sure it was ever used. It is a vintage Callaway golf bag with rain cover and a floral tapestry print. Sold for $154.75 and she paid $5 for it. Catherine Racine. I paid $30 for this vacuum and a big box of corresponding parts and accessories on June 18th from a Facebook Marketplace listing. I finally got the vacuum listed on July 4th, sold on July 29th for an offer of $160, shipping paid by the buyer. I also have 4 other accessories from the lot that I finally got listed last week. This was a great sale to wake up to after selling almost nothing over the last 10 days. Ooh, that hurts. It is a Kirby Dual Sanatronic 80 vintage vacuum cleaner. $30 and it sold for $160. Julie Gambino purchased at a garage sale for $1 last year at the end of the season. Sold for best offer of $175. I'd had offers previously but had held on. This time I took the offer. It is a vintage City of Chicago Department of Health Officer badge, so it is a collectible. Sold for $175. Next up is Lynn Marty per year. Bought this roll of Cyrus Clark fabric probably 20 years ago for next to nothing. Can't remember the amount or where, but most likely not over $20. Sold on best offer of $175.99. Vintage Cyrus Clark fabric Wendy That's the name of the print. Floral pink purple. So another thing that was laying around the house that sold for good money. Okay, Maggie May paid $39 for these four Christian Dior La Parisienne mugs at Goodwill about a month ago. Listed on July 12th for $245 and sold 2 days later for best offer of $180 with free shipping. When I found them, I could not get them in my cart fast enough. Set of four stylish Christian Dior La Parisienne or Parisienne fine china coffee and tea mugs, 8 ounces. So she paid 39 and they sold for 180. Holly Feger paid $7.99 at Goodwill. I love electronics and am always looking for small white or black boxes. Found this and comps were good. My son was able to get it working, which was a big help. Such a cute robot. I was almost sad to let it go. I think the video of it working was what made it sell so fast. Sold in less than 12 hours for full price of $199.99. It is Anki, Anki, Vector Base Kit Advanced Companion Robot. How about that? $8 and sold for just under 200. Janet Adams Turnage. I saw this in the estate sale ad, but I couldn't make it the first day. I went the next day, half off, and to my surprise, it was still there. $16. Mid century modern fireplace tools are scarce as hen's teeth. It was a pain to box, but totally worth it. So you can see there it's got what looks like the Danish teak wood handles. Vintage mid-century modern fireplace tool set, Danish style. Sold for $250. Francisco Infante. I find these White Mountain ice cream freezers from time to time at estate sales. I got this one for $25 and I accepted an offer of $254 plus shipping. Took about a month to sell. Cool beans. Vintage 6-quart White Mountain ice cream freezer model 69206, $25 and it sold for $254. Andrew Silveroli won this in a local online auction for $75, accepted a best offer of $260 after 2 weeks. Oh, and this is corresponding with the Ghostbusters remake movie. But this is the original 1987 Kenner the Real Ghostbusters Firehouse Headquarters playset. $75, flipped for $260. Dorcas Martin. I purchased 12 items of Lenox Village at an auction. I paid $275 for all, so I figured I paid about $40 for this set of 8 mugs. Sold this set for full price in about 4 days. Lenox Spice Village coffee mugs, set of 8. Sold for $350 and she paid $40 for these. Now, you might remember about the Lenox Spice Village spice containers. That was in the 2023 BOLO book, and those were a hot thing on social media. So I was not aware they also made these coffee mugs. So be on the lookout for those as well. Okay, Terry Connell Wilcox bought this for $75 from a friend. Put it up for a 7-day auction because I wasn't sure how much to price it for. Last few minutes, it jumped to $306. Buyer paid the next morning and it arrived safely this past Wednesday. Louisville Stoneware Ship Boat Barge, Captain Spicer's, Clayton, New York. Okay, so when I first saw this, I glanced at it, I thought it was like a sink. So Seeing your vision, look closer. So it was $75 and it sold for $306. Okay, Mark Sherrill paid $2 at an estate sale for this smart home hardware, sold for $350 plus $12 shipping. Used Lutron radio processor mount. I don't even know what all that is. It's a smart home hardware, so maybe a security thing. Anyway, it sold for $350. Bill Hunt, part of a private haul from a seller cleaning out her dad's storage unit. I paid $100 for several large totes and boxes of train stuff and other toys. Way in the back. Oh no, way in the black with that purchase, with more to go. I couldn't find exact comps for this particular piece and had a hard time exactly identifying it. I set it up on auction starting at around $50. I had several messages early on telling me it was this or that type of train. I'd add that into the listing. It sold for $361. Excellent. Cheryl Steed Henderhan. She is our Amish Uber driver. Cheryl is in Ohio and was on a podcast, and that's what they do on the side. They are Amish drivers, meaning they drive the Amish people to their appointments and such. Okay, found in a box of old books I purchased at an estate auction. I had no idea what it was until I looked it up. Took best offer of $399. Book was in poor condition. Probably paid less than $10 for the entire box. Thanks to all the booksellers who've shared your knowledge with us on the podcast. Condition doesn't always matter. Just make sure to add lots of photos and describe the damage well in the listing. 1907 Daily Heavenly Mama J.W. Lyons Watchtower. Okay, so it is a book of faith, basically. And it sold for $399. Next up is John Mickey Jr. And John, I don't recall you having been in the $100 video before. Doesn't mean you haven't, it just means I don't recall. So, welcome. Okay, bought October 2023 for $60 at an estate auction. Took offer of $850 today. This is a 1950s to 60s Harley Davidson jacket. Champion, that's probably the brand. Large size. And he had 1200 on it and took an offer of 850 but only paid 60, so I would say that is a win. Okay, Brian Rappaport picked this box up last month for $600 from a guy I met at a garage sale. Sold for $999.99. The item is 1998 to 99 Topps Finest Series basketball cards. So a box of basketball cards. Paid $600 and flipped for just under $1,000. Amy Cagey paid $20 at a garage sale for this large Walt Disney Collectors Club porcelain figurine of Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Sold within a month and took an offer of $1,000. I have sold WDCC pieces in the past, meaning Walt Disney Collectors Club, in the past, and figured it was definitely worth a $20 gamble based on its size. So there you could see it is Ursula from Little Mermaid, Devilish Diva, and it came in the box. $20 and flipped for $1,000. Okay, and we're going to end with Myra Como. She said, "Hello all. I have been missing in action for a while as my sales tanked and I just wasn't inspired to share. Then I sold this amazing rare Italian nativity set overnight for $2,300. I paid $450 at an estate sale 4 days before listing. Back in the saddle again. Yeah, I'll say so. Okay, I'm going to take a stab at this. Vintage Italian Henri Ulrich Bernardi carved wood 8-inch nativity 20-piece Creche is just another word for manger. Excellent used condition. And she sold it for $2,300. She had to pony up 450, but still, um, definitely made that back on the sale. Those were some impressive sales, everybody. I love reading the $100 thread and making these videos because we can all see what's possible. And that's what motivates us to keep going, right? Thanks, everybody, for watching and sticking with me to the end. And I will see you next time. Happy selling. Bye, everybody.